Wow.
So the first 28 days are very powerful for this baby. And you'll notice that for preterms, because they're born early, this stretches beyond the 28-day margin. Because they're growing outside the womb, we have to be cognizant of the fact that they did not complete their growth in the mom's womb, and for them we stretch beyond the 28 days.
So the preterm is as preterm stroke premature babies.
Yes,
yes.
those are the preterms.
So you say they're the preterms that you deal with. Now, by any chance, as an expert in that area, and of course, given the fact that you're the women's specialized hospital and you head that particular unit that deals with these babies, do you have, on average, how many kids does the unit hold? And how big is the problem?
This problem is really huge. We do see babies come to us every day. It's a 24-hour admitting unit of critically ill babies. The categories of babies we admit are both term and preterm. The term are those who have grown to be ready to be born. They are mature. They have their own complications, but they're not as huge and complicated like the preterm babies. We receive these preterms at different weights, some as low as 700 grams, 500 grams. We have a way we categorize them into those less than 1,000, from 1,000 to 1.2, there's 1.2 to 1.5, and everybody else above that. So the smaller you are, the more we have to give you an eye on what complexities will come in your life. So that pertains to weight, but there also are measures we do to ask the mother, how far along were you gone to when you had this baby in terms of months? So even the months or age of this baby when they're born speak to us what to expect. The yardsticks are the weight and the months at which baby came early. Could be 7 months, 6.5 months, 8.5 months, but we know in lay speak it is 9 months that a mother says this baby was ready to come. For the scientists, we define this as 37 completed weeks, equivalent to the 9 months for any pregnancy to be normalized as term. So, to speak for Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital, we admit babies that are born within our unit and babies from without. The babies are referred to us regionally from all parts of Uganda, but mostly we see that the KCCA clinics, our satellite clinics, refer babies either directly to us or through Kawempe Referral Hospital to get to us. Majority of our outborn babies come from Kawempe Hospital, needing further care, and then the proportion that are born within constitute the majority of our babies. So on average, it's a 63-bed unit. At any one time, the preterms are about 60%. We usually have 4-bed capacity. At any one time, we are full. So 60% of our 63 beds could be about 14 units in there. So people will think, why are the numbers not in the hundreds or thousands, considering the high births we see in the other centers around Kampala? It's because it's a specialist center where we receive only critically ill babies needing life-saving interventions that are not available.
When you talk about the critically ill babies, what are some of the conditions they present with? Because I know at least hypothermia is one of those. Then some of them, due to that being excessively underweight.
Correct.
Then others will have respiratory, conditions.
Yes.
What is it
so
like?
Critically ill, thank you for bringing those points to light. Indeed, those are the complications every preterm is exposed to. They cannot regulate their body temperature because one, the skin is thin, they don't have a lot of fat to keep them warm, and importantly, their brain has not yet developed
fully
to control that breathing. To control the temperature. The breathing also, the lungs are immature. They do not have enough lung volume, first of all. And then there's a very important liquid in the lungs called surfactant that prevents the lungs from collapsing. And in preterms, the amounts in the lungs are varied. So the more preterm you are, the lesser you have. So at any point, if we don't give you oxygen, we don't give the little baby oxygen immediately, give them a way to support their breathing, these lungs collapse or crash. The little ones at risk for low sugar, they must be fed immediately. Remember, the placenta should still be doing the work for us, but since baby is out early, there's no more placenta, we need to keep on top of feeds for them so that they don't go into very low sugar. Low sugar levels have been known to increase the risk of bleeding in the brain for these babies. So actually, when they come to us, we expect centers where they've been referred to have tried to optimize these things, to have fed the baby, given the baby some warmth, you know, and prepared the baby to come to us if they have failed to support the breathing. So at our specialist center, we focus on advanced airway support mostly, but we still give the lesser forms of advanced airway support. And the advanced one I'm speaking about is ventilation.
Oh, wow.
The one that we do for adults, to put them in ICU and the machine breathes for them. So our specialist center does that at Mulago. But we also give other ways to deliver oxygen, known as CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. It is less invasive. We don't put a tube down the baby's throat, but we put them on a mask and we're able to get in some air into their lungs.
For how long is the baby under this kind of care, depending on the duration they have come, the time they have come out?
Yeah.
If they've not made the 37 weeks. For how long
It
do you
will
have
all
them?
vary. There's so many factors playing into this. First of all, we have to be cognizant of the fact that what was the actual cause for the preterm delivery? Why didn't this mother carry to term? Someone has to tease that out when they see this mother for the first time, when she has had this preem baby. What were those risk factors that exposed our mother to go into labor early? Were they treated adequately? Were they picked quickly? Commonly in our setting, we have high blood pressure, mostly that brought on by the pregnancy. The other maternal or mother conditions, a mom may have malaria. Malaria is killing babies. Malaria is killing mothers. With that comes anemia. All these are risk factors for a premature delivery. So these have to be treated and handled. So when this baby comes to you, depending on the timeline they've come to you, what length of maturity they have attained in their lungs, in their brain, in their tummy, that will speak to the duration they will need care. They will need us to intervene. The bigger they are, greater weight, older, maybe they were born at close to term, maybe 8.5 months, we don't usually do a lot. But the specific group of concern are those who are less than 1,000 grams, less than 28 weeks, which is about 7 months. Those ones tend to do badly. They actually are the ones we lose mostly, because even if you do your best, feed them, keep them warm, support the airway, they get complications after complications along the path of their growth. We see these coming immediately or further on in the week and even at 1 month. Not forgetting that there are even the long-term complications. If they survive this journey, they leave the nursery, they go home, they grow. We have questions to ask. Will they be able to sit like other children, walk?
Will they be able to hear?
Will they be able to hear, correct? Will they be able to see? Because a number of them get issues in the nursery and they may not be able to see after. The oxygen we give them, how much is it? It does damage the eyes. Will they be able to speak and play like other children? So it's a continuum of thought processes going on. And that speaks to the medical team managing the babies, that most of these complications along the way can be prevented if the team work together, are skilled to identify and anticipate these problems quickly enough to manage them. So the duration will vary for every baby. Sometimes you see this one baby doing so well in the nursery. They were born at 800 grams, 28 weeks, which is about 7 months. A month later, they're 32 weeks, which should be about 8 months. They even put in 200 grams. You know, we celebrate those little wins when they get a few grams. And he was 700 grams. He's now 1,000 grams. Great progress. Only to wake up one morning, he's not feeding well. He's not tolerating food anymore. And you wonder what happened to this little one. So we have to keep on top of the process. We have to know what is going on and engage mothers, involve them in the care, update them on what's going on. So World Prematurity Day is one of those moments. We want to bring this up every time, every year. We want to let people know these little people are out there.
And they need to be celebrated.
And they need to be celebrated. That journey is rocky. And when they make it out there, these are champions.
But now when you've talked about some of those issues, it really seems like it is quite a tough journey. It entails a lot. I know that it also comes with costs, the financial pocket. How have you been able to support mothers in some of those areas to make them understand it? Because certain times when people realize they've given birth to a preterm baby, it's as good enough as them giving up on this child.
Correct.
Because they do not see how they have the finances to be able to maintain it. And there's also the fear of like, did you just say women's specialized hospital? Ah, those are expensive.
Yes. So at Mulago Specialized Women's Hospital and Neonatal Hospital, we have a vision. And this vision is and has always been to be a center of excellence in providing specialized reproductive and newborn healthcare in Africa. And all that is in our vision and mission to see that we promote access and provide quality care, again, for these neonates and mothers through research, through training. We further this and translate it into the care to our patients. When they come to Mulago Hospital, well, it is a public hospital, and they are required to pay a small sum to see that these specialist services continue, to see that at any one time they come, they're able to access a specialist. The specialist needs equipment. The special drugs we give these newborns for their lungs, for treating infections. So it's a hospital where it is not the money. They make that contribution to see that the services are furthered, the services continue. So that tomorrow when someone comes, they will find the same specialist there. The ventilator is well maintained. There's enough drugs, medicines. We never send out anyone to buy drugs. They are there. Everything is one stop point. That's why you see we do support and work together with other units in Kampala and regionally. Babies come to us in all forms of ways, and we still give them care.
Tell us a bit about some of the components that surround and how well equipped your intensive care unit is. Because at times when you talk about an intensive care unit, one thing people are sure of, oxygen, you know, and they might not know what other details. Do you take the parents through, like the mothers, to explain to them why you're administering this drug, why you're putting the baby on this kind of support of equipment? Do you go into that detail? Because certain times it helps them to be able to walk the journey with the baby.
Correctly,
as opposed to saying,
yes, I know. That's a very common statement we hear, not only in Mulago or elsewhere in Uganda hospitals. The communication with parents, that's an ongoing process. The involvement is right from when this baby is born. Should be before they are born. The minute we anticipate this mother is going to have a preterm baby, the things that must start to work. And this is a team in the background. Obstetricians who deliver the mom and the pediatric side of us coming in to quickly anticipate who is coming to us. So there are drugs mom must get as soon as we think labor is going to happen. Drugs to mature the lungs. Treat mom, whatever caused this labor to happen, to happen so quickly. And then when they come to us, if we have the chance to speak to them before baby is delivered, we do say, someone is coming and they're this small, this is what they'll be able to do. Mostly it's the airway, the breathing that we're concerned about. Because air is life. We must know and assess how much is going to go into supporting this baby to breathe. We can communicate that to mom. And that depends at that time on her mental status. How is she handling this bad news that you're going to have your baby now? Baby was supposed to come Christmas Day. It's now November. So many questions go on. And I must say, and we must acknowledge the fact that these moms do experience a lot of mental stress. We must be understanding as a team. We must come in together, hands on board, and see how best to support them through this difficult time as they transit through the nursery, the NICU. The NICU is quite overwhelming. Machines are there. Babies are wired to every device. Mothers can't understand, why is their baby wired, a tube going in the mouth, a tube going in the, in the nose. Why is this happening to baby? Why am I not holding them? There are alarms going off.
Why can't I breastfeed them?
Why can't I breastfeed and hold my baby naturally like everybody? And then they will peep even at the next baby and see, oh, this one is also small or worse than mine. All that has a lot of mental stress going on. And then to speak to the other, the socio-economic aspect is overwhelming. Like you have said, everything is expensive, right from the drugs, the equipment, maintenance of that equipment, everything going in to save this little person is, parents look at it, just having a look at every gadget there, and they sort of add it up and say, wow, am I going to afford this? So we have to assure our people that at women's, no matter the intensity of care going in there, it all works for everyone. Everyone gets to get a chance to be looked after, regardless of whether you can pay or not. We do that. The machines are very heavy and expensive. The ventilators are not in every hospital, as we well know. They're only in the specialist center and other hospitals in Kampala. So just to answer your question, the social aspect to it, mom has to break the news, we have a small baby, to her husband. Him also has to be supported to understand what is going on. We have seen many fathers support the mothers of preterms, and we thank them. These honorable men who come, they make the trips every day to the nursery, you know, they're involved in changing the diaper, feeding the baby, you know, between the hours they support mom to also recover and this little baby. So we still are championing male involvement in caring for these preterms. So the socio-economic impact is diverse.
It is diverse.
To the pocket of the individual parents and even to government as a whole.
Now, I know that at this particular point, I think I should first call for a break. Then we'll get to other components that I know that are very core and that are very instrumental in the growth of these babies. Well, we're talking about our World Prematurity Day, which is just happening today. But we are also going to share and delve more into the topic right after this break. Welcome back from that very short break. We're still continuing on U Health Chat, and we're talking about World Prematurity Day. But of course, before we get to the actual details of the day, there is need for us to get to appreciate the condition and know why it is recognized the world over, not only in Uganda. And with me is none other than Dr. Jessica Nachibuka, who is an expert when it comes to babies. She's passionate about them. Not only is she a pediatrician, but she's more than just that. And of course, if you want to find her, you can find her at the Women's Specialized Hospital in Mulago, and you will surely get her. Now, Dr. Jessica, there is a famous method that is used and has traditionally been used for quite a long time, and that is the kangaroo mother care. I'd like you to tell us a bit about it, and at what stage it is applicable for a mother after the baby is done with the specialized intensive unit.
Thank you very much for that very important question. It actually underpins the theme for this year. And kangaroo mother care comes from that animal called kangaroo. The kangaroo animal is unique in that it carries its baby in a special pouch at the front of the body. Can even carry more than 2 babies. Can carry twins, triplets, but it's a way and a cheaper form of ensuring that there's skin-to-skin contact between the mother and the baby, purposely and majorly to keep this baby warm. But as we shall see, there's so many benefits for kangaroo. As over the years, in the last 2 decades and more, evidence has emerged. Kangaroo mother care is the way to go, or we even call it kangaroo care now, because even fathers do kangaroo.
Oh, wow.
We call it KFC, kangaroo father care. So this is not the KFC chicken, but we're talking that even fathers can do kangaroo. Anyone in the home who is well, who doesn't have a cough, who is healthy, grandmom and auntie can do kangaroo mother care, which is purely skin-to-skin contact with this preterm baby. So it's only indicated for preterm babies. In our previous conversation, we mentioned they're at risk for low temperature, which is called hypothermia, and they die from this condition. So evidence over time has evolved. Prior, we used to say, when I was still a young student, as an intern, we used to only have kangaroo initiated when this baby was well on their way to go home. They were no longer needing oxygen, they were doing very well with their feeds, they were not on antibiotics, Mom was being prepared to go to the community. Then we started to talk about KMC, which is kangaroo mother care. But the evidence emerging now is that it must be initiated as soon as possible, as soon as baby is stable enough. And stability means when they come into the unit, they've been settled on their oxygen, food has gone in, any other interventions have gone in, the mother can be supported to start right away, to start kangaroo, even when this baby is still sick, because the benefits far outweigh waiting for a longer time when this baby is stable and on their way out. It must be initiated as soon as possible. And we shall see now it is prescribed. It is a treatment that must be prescribed. It's not optional. Now more than ever, mothers must be told it is not just a way to carry the baby, as the thought has been for some of them, if they don't get enough health education. But now it is a treatment also, like the other drugs we write, we prescribe it at any one point, as we shall see the benefits of kangaroo being diverse. Skin to skin, mother care is being promoted all over the world. And it has shown improved survival of our babies.
Now that you talked about it and you say it has its benefits,
Yes.
you might want to dive further into the benefits
Sure,
at
I'm
this
happy
point.
to. I'm a great champion for kangaroo. And these benefits are both to mother and to baby. I'll start with the mothers. When they initiate kangaroo, it is one way their breast milk will start to flow. We are not going to give baby any other feeds. Breast milk is best. The sooner mom bonds with her baby through kangaroo, she becomes confident, seeing this little person's heartbeat close to hers. Mom can sing to baby, talk to baby, and we speak to the benefits baby gets from that. But for mother, her breast milk will start to come as the bond grows with her baby. It has also been known to regulate hormones, and especially hormones that make, at this time of delivery and the stress going on, the mental depression may set in, what people call maternal blues, moms feeling low, sad. Kangaroo care has been known to improve the mental state of the mom, and confidence, and bonding as a family, as they all come together to help, to support this baby. It is also protective of the baby not to get infections, because mom is holding her own to her. That way, us, the staff, touching the baby and infecting them, the risk is very, very minimal. Now, to speak to the baby and the benefits, those are diverse. One of them is that the baby sleeps better. The baby cries less. This baby can cope with pain, knowing there's someone who loves me holding me. These babies gain weight physically faster, because remember I said they have very little fat? That little fat doesn't burn to keep them warm. Instead, they get bigger and bigger as mom's heat comes in. So they gain weight very quickly. Not to forget that their brain growth also is much better. You compare children who had kangaroo and others who haven't. There is a difference. That is the emerging evidence that the world has now pushed, that kangaroo is mandatory now. Wow. These babies also breathe better. Their heart rate is also regulated, and it improves their temperature regulation. So the benefits are so diverse. And what is the good news? It is so cheap. You only need mother and baby together.
Or father.
Or father. And a comfortable chair and a cup of tea. Mom only prepares by going to the bathroom and coming to sit with her baby throughout the day. So we're no longer even promoting intermittent kangaroo. We're saying continuous, 24/7 if feasible, if possible. Those are the benefits.
Now, at what stage do you determine as a unit that the child is now safe to go home?
Yes. So we have discharge guidelines, and one of them for preterm babies specifically is that they are gaining weight. So we do weight measurements twice a week. They must be gaining weight for you to say they can safely go home. They must be able to tolerate the mom's milk. Certain meals we look at that the baby is able to feed, not vomit back the milk, is good enough assessment. We see further, baby is not having any wires or drips, is not on oxygen, is stable clinically. Then the other one speaks to the mother. Is the mother ready to go home? Mentally, psychologically, is she ready to also take on the care from our hands to the community? in the home. So this speaks to her social networks as well. How involved is the spouse? How involved is the family? World Health Organization has given us recommendations for preterm babies, and it also includes low birth weight babies. One of them is to support families, what we call family-centered support or care. Now more than ever, it's not the mother only. The family must be engaged. The community can come in and help. In the community, we may have peer support groups of mothers who had preterms coming in to support and help. Home visits are one way to support. So all this is assessed before she goes home. What is going on at home? What is there? And we speak to each other. There's a lot of health education going on. It's bi-directional. It's no longer the doctor telling the mom anything. Mom also tells us what's happening. This way we assess that our baby can safely go home. The recommended weight for discharge should be at least 1.7 kilograms to go home. Okay. Safely enough, they're able to almost regulate their temperature, but they're not yet there.
Okay. And what's the survival? Have you done research to find out from some of those that have been under, what's their survival rate once they go out?
I'll say, and this is a very perplexing situation, because the answer comes from a strengthened follow-up system, a system that has a record of who was with you in the unit, when did they go home, when do we expect them to come back for us?
For review.
Remember, when we send them home, they have to keep coming to us for review, follow-ups. The same management happens to weigh them, measure their head to see if the brain is growing, treat any illnesses. The supplements we give them to grow stronger, for their bones to grow, for them not to get low blood levels, what we call anemia, for them to be able to breathe better. So we have all these interventions going on for these babies. We want to assess if they're sitting at the right time, walking at the right time, and all that. But right now, our systems are not strengthened enough to do a home visit, to follow up and say, hello, how are you doing, mom? How is baby? We missed you at yesterday's clinic. We did not see you, because we see multiple factors play into this. Some mothers deliver with us, and they migrate to the village, go back. We hope then the continuum of care for the baby will, continue. But those who come back to us are the majority. That's the good news.
Oh, that's
At least 80 to 90% come back. But we have the 10% we never see. We're not sure what goes on. So there's been evidence emerging. A phone call at home can help. Check on someone. But again, we may assume everyone has a mobile phone. Not everyone has a mobile phone.
True.
So phone numbers change every day. The phone is stolen. So the number you have, you cannot reach this mom. But it's such a complex issue. But the statistics do indicate that preterm babies are 4 times likely to die compared to the term babies, either within the units, within the hospital facility, or outside. So that's approximately where we're looking at survival.
Then how have you made the environment conducive and comfortable for the parents as well? Because we talk about we've talked about the babies,
Yes.
but the parents as well. Psychologically, there are some people just even talking or knowing that they have to be in a hospital for a particular period of time is good enough to break them down.
Oh.
How do you set the environment for them to really feel like, I'm not in hospital, yes I'm in hospital, but I feel like I'm partly like at home?
Thank you for that. It's a great question. I do understand that traditionally our hospitals tend to be aseptic, hospital environments of sick people, dying people, busy, everyone is moving. But for the NICU specifically, and you should visit our NICU, very calming, very clean. There's space that is accredited by the World NICU bodies, the space between the incubators, allowing 2 chairs for both parents to sit and bond with their baby. Remember, the bonding can start with the kangaroo care, or just passing a finger through the incubator and touching the baby's finger. We call it a hand hug. You may not have to carry the baby, but just the finger playing with the baby's finger and baby grips it is enough bonding. So we create a conducive healing environment. We try to do it, despite the noise going on and the very sick babies going on, with some dying. The environment is healing, it's quiet, it's clean, spacious, and then we do have family conference rooms where we meet each family on a specific day in the week, and we speak closer. Beyond what we discuss during the ward, there's information we convey. It's a question and answer, back and forth, as parents ask us very difficult questions. And most of them speak to, we've been here for a while, we've been here for a long time. What's the chance this baby will survive? So we counsel them. We do have a social worker. We have a counselor, a breastfeeding counselor. It's a multidisciplinary approach involving us, the doctors and nurses, to ensure that our parents are well supported in the unit. And this is happening also across the country in other NICUs. Our teams are out there supporting these parents as awareness improves.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's get to the actual D-Day today. How does Uganda treat and look at this day separately or in a unique way? Do you find out from mobilizing and getting some of these mothers to come around with their little ones? What is it like?
Wow, it's a day. What can I say? We look forward to this day. It's a blocked day on our calendars. The celebrations actually start a week before. Units prepare, you know. Units get a good look sometimes, a new look. You know, our colors are purple and white for preterms. Special colors for them, meaning sensitivity and exceptionality. So our colors usually are in that code. There's a lot of pomp and flair, you know. We engage several stakeholders to come in. The media is one of them. Our different stakeholders in Molago, NMS are involved. The Ministry of Health too, who we are under, who are our guardians, are involved in this pomp. And specifically for this year, for Uganda, the celebrations will be in Nakaseke Hospital, Nakaseke district. So we do have a big team that has gone on. But individual units do plan their own events at which we give back to the parents. We bring back the alumni from the NICU who are already gone and in the community. We also celebrate the ones who are still in the unit. Everyone is involved that day.
Why this time round have you chosen a hospital where we've had outcries of them having a lot of their issues out in the media? Nakaseke of all places. Why Nakaseke?
I do not understand where why this is happening up country, and the choice of district is just to merely highlight that even out there we need more help. We need more of us out there to support these newborns. Kampala has had its share of these days celebrated here, but we want to sound the drum and say, come out here in the regional districts. Come outside the city. There also are newborns. Nakaseke is one of the model districts that has done very well with newborn care.
Wow.
Yes, they do have a very well facilitated nursery, NICU, and staff that we have trained, we have mentored, giving care to these newborns. Although with not very easy conditions, they are still caring for the numbers there.
Wow.
So we have to tell our people, there is still a voice of reason in these places. There are people who are kind, who understand the situation, and will look after your newborn optimally to the best care they must give. So we must not despair and lose heart.
Shed more light on the theme for a person who is watching you right now.
Great, thank you. So the theme for this year is a parent's embrace, a powerful therapy. Enable skin-to-skin contact from the moment of birth. So this is kangaroo care we are talking about. From the moment of birth now, it must be initiated immediately, right from the start. And like I said, considering the economic times, what we've had with COVID, separating babies from the mothers, we're now saying don't separate them. The benefits outweigh what we fear out there. Bring this baby close to the mom or father from the moment they're born. So it's timely now, without adequate equipment in units, to have incubators for everyone, units having financial challenges to direct funds to other things. Let us support kangaroo. It is cheap. We don't need anything. Like I said, it's just mom and baby in the same space. So we want to move away from thinking it's a way of carrying a baby. It is now treatment. And I think our parents or mothers will hear this better, knowing that it is now prescribed. It is a must. And they'll come on board, hopefully. So we shall champion that.
Now, kangaroo, I know, is more to the front. And I've seen certain, in different regions, you've seen them prefer to carry the babies on the back. With the kalesu, wrap and the babies tight there as they go about their chores, because it's an easier way to carry them.
Mom does her
Does the
chores.
back also apply? Does it have?
No. The black does not apply.
Why?
You know, when you look at the way our chests are made, the heartbeat is best appreciated at the front.
True.
That heartbeat is like a drum beating into the baby. Remember what I said about breathing pattern?
Oh, yes.
Remembering to breathe. Their heart rate also picks up. You know, they're also stimulated. There's something going on. And this is mom's heart or dad's heart or someone. So it is therapeutic. It is a medicine that correctly we must put the baby in front. In the back, it's the back. We can appreciate the heart a little as doctors when we listen, but actually the heartbeat is best appreciated at the front, on the left side. So it still doesn't matter. That heartbeat can also be felt on the right. We can best get the benefits of kangaroo when baby is right here. But also you're able to look at the baby's face and see what's going on. Any color changes, any activity. Is baby sleeping? You speak to the baby and sing to them. The bonding is so much stronger than I would imagine if baby was in the back.
Okay, now can kangaroo also be applied ordinarily by those who have the normal term babies? Can they pick it on as a method that they use to grow their babies that way? Because I've heard of scenarios of some mothers feeling some will reject the babies. I think based on how they have moved the whole trimesters of the pregnancy, some of them will carry their stress along. Then when the baby is out, it's like finally, and they push the baby to the side.
Oh, that's so sad. Kangaroo primarily was meant to benefit preterm babies because of the complications they get along the way. So it's not for term babies. We actually see these preterms, as they get bigger and gain more weight, they start to refuse kangaroo.
Hey.
That's how they speak, that I'm tired also, I'm getting too hot, the oven is too hot, I'm getting hot. Even moms come and say, he doesn't want it anymore, he's always fighting me, wriggling out of it. So primarily it is the preterm. For the term baby, who we know, the temperature control center in the brain was developed already. They'll not do well in kangaroo, they'll be very uncomfortable. But I do understand you're trying to bring the element of bonding between a mother and her baby. Especially if we go to the one who is term. There's so many ways to bond that mom can use. Yes, skin to skin is one of them. When mom is feeding her baby, holding the baby close to them, and then looking at them. Eye contact is very important for babies. They do sense that you are interested in me, you know, you love me. And mom can bond further through bathing her baby herself, feeding her baby herself. Even the mere task of changing a diaper, cleaning a baby after is a bonding activity. Let us not take these roles away from mothers. And mothers, don't delegate them to other people to do for you. The maid, the aunt, the grandmother, you're taking away that powerful moment of bonding with the baby. Baby is essential. Skin to skin in any form works for them. And these are the things we know: breastfeeding them, carrying them, and speaking to them.
So what is your word as a specialist center who have really like ticked the boxes and are striving towards super excellence in this field? What is your message to the other centers out there or other hospitals that are facing, that definitely by all means have a unit where at one point they have preterm babies?
Thank you for that very important question. I would like to acknowledge my colleagues out there caring for newborns. Thank you for a job well done. We do appreciate your hard work, your input, and even the struggles and challenges you experience. We are privileged to be a specialist hospital where we demand for the best, for everything. Equipment, drugs, sundries we have. That's why it's a specialist center. But we do know out there, it is not the story, it is not the case. The numbers handled in other hospitals or health centers, health center 3, 4s, are overwhelming the teams there. The staff ratio to the patients is overwhelming, so that the quality of care may be compromised. But not to lose heart, we urge our colleagues to continue to aspire to give the best of themselves. Imagine this is a baby you're going to see and never see again. Give them a very good start. They'll come back and thank you one day. They'll come back and say, I was delivered at Nakaseke. And they'll look, you know, the birthday is always there. We'll look in the registrar and know which team was on duty that day, which team attended to this baby during our stay. These things come back to us. So that is the gratitude we all look forward to. The gratitude of a previous client coming and saying, thank you so much for what you did for me. Thank you so much for saving my life. So let us not despair. Let us aspire to skill ourselves, even on a self basis, where you can go and read more literature on caring for newborns. Please attend our conferences, attend our workshops, come and learn these skills. And at Mulago Specialist Women and Neonatal Hospital, we train staff. We're also going to train a number of nurses in a few months to come, countrywide, to improve their skill set. And above all, let's not forget to communicate to patients. Good customer care is everyone's desire in any exchange of a service. Let us not lose a handle of those things. Let us keep going for the best when we are serving others.
Okay. And your final comment to the mothers who've had these wonderful, little, beautiful angels that we are recognizing today.
Yes.
Your final comment to the
Mothers only?
Yeah. And the fathers, that was selfish of me. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Mothers and fathers, the parents of these babies.
Male involvement.
Male involvement,
These fathers do a lot, but yes, specifically for the mothers, dear mothers, you are very powerful women. Don't underestimate that. When you do see us medical people, you may see a wall, but remember that wall has windows. We are looking in at you. We know what is going on. We may not communicate everything because we want to give you what you can handle at that time, not to despair, not to lose hope. We keep giving you this hope, but just know we are there for you. We appreciate you, the hard work that you do. Remember, you contribute more than 50% of the care for that baby. You come every day, you give us the breast milk, you tell us how the baby's, behaved today or the other day. You tell us those small subtle things for neonates we must look out for, changing behavior, changing sleep pattern, because you're closer to the babies. We appreciate you for this input. I also appeal to my colleagues, the medical people. When a mother says something is not right with her baby, please listen with more than 2 ears. This is the first doctor with the baby. The mother is the first doctor. Listen to them. Listen to what they're saying. That little nagging little thing, voice that comes through and that tickles you, and you say, I must look at this baby. It should propel you to look at that baby. They don't have to be medical, but just to say a thank you to the mothers and fathers who have held the hand of these women, who support them at the bedside through the journey. And even for the babies who pass away, who we do not win, there is hope for better as we improve newborn care in Uganda. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Nachiwoka. It's been very wonderful hosting you.
And
also thank you so much for the information, information is wealth. I'd like to thank you who's been tuning into this. And as young ladies out there, because at one point, you expect to be a mother, it's very important for you to make sure that at the time you conceive, you're always in and out of the hospital, not because you're unwell, but to be able to predetermine any of these conditions that might come along as you carry your pregnancy to the end of the trimester. That was all we had time for tonight. Keep watching UBC TV, for the 10 o'clock news is coming your way shortly.